They belittled him until one truth turned their laughter into silence. The sun hung low over South Beach, Miami, casting golden streaks across the ocean. The beach club was alive, with the scent of salt and sunscreen, the rhythmic splash of waves, mixing with the murmur of conversation, and the soft clinking of glasses. At one of the cabana stations near the water, Aaron adjusted his crisp white shirt, smoothing out invisible creases. He had worked at the Azure Sands Beach Club for years, mastering the delicate balance between attentiveness and discretion. Guests came here expecting perfection, seamless service, effortless charm. But not everyone showed the same courtesy in return. As he refilled a table's champagne flutes, the chime of a hostess's laugh cut through the air. A group of tourists had just strolled in. Best sales pitch. What's the most premium drink you've got? Aaron remained unfazed. Our top shelf options include a Louis XIII and cognac, a Yamazaki 18-year whiskey, and a 1942 Don Julio. Smooth-aged premium. Logan let out a low whistle. Damn pricey. You ever tasted any of that? Well, they don't let you near the expensive stuff. The others snickered. Aaron ignored the jab. We have plenty of cocktails made with premium spirits, if you're looking for something custom. The woman, Madison, judging by the way her friends said her name, a little too often like they were trying to impress her, tilted her head. Oh my God, let's do something fun, Aaron. Surprise us, but like actually make it good. Something strong, the other guy chimed in. You know, something that hits like a truck, but still makes us feel like we're sipping class. Aaron gave a small nod. I'll bring out something special. As he turned, Logan's voice cut through the air again. Hey Aaron. The mock concern in his voice was already grating. Aaron stopped, but didn't turn around. We're thirsty now, make it fast. More chuckles. Aaron walked away, feeling their stares on his back, waiting for some kind of reaction. He didn't give them one. By the time he reached the bar, he could still hear them talking. Their voices weren't hushed. They wanted him to hear. Damn man, did you see how serious he is? Logan laughed like, chill out bro. You're serving drinks, not running a Fortune 500 company. Madison snorted. I know, right? He talks like he's giving a TED talk on cocktails. The third guy, Drew, who had been relatively quiet up until now, let out a low chuckle. You think he actually drinks this stuff, or he just memorizes the menu? Logan smirked. Oh please, dude's probably never had a real drink in his life. I bet he goes home and drinks like Hennessy with Sprite or something. Laughter erupted from the table. Aaron, standing at the bar, remained composed. The bartender raised an eyebrow, hearing the conversation too. You want me to handle this one? He asked quietly. Aaron shook his head. I got it. He carefully selected the spirits, crafting a set of custom cocktails with the precision of a master. If they wanted to test him, fine. He'd give them something that would shut them up real quick. But as he placed the drinks on the tray, he already knew they weren't done yet, and sooner or later they were going to take things too far. Aaron returned to the table, setting the drinks down with the same practiced ease he had perfected over the years. Glasses glistened under the golden hour light, elegant, balanced, expertly crafted. He had chosen flavors that were both complex and refined, something only a true connoisseur would appreciate. But the moment Logan took a sip, his smirk widened, and that was never a good sign. Oh man. Logan coughed dramatically, setting the glass down with exaggerated disgust. What is this, some kind of science experiment? Madison took a sip of hers and gasped mockingly. Why did you just put random, expensive stuff together and hope for the best? Drew swirled his drink and sniffed it, playing along. It's got that artisanal, handcrafted, I tried to hard kind of taste. The group burst into laughter, their voices carrying across the beach club. A few nearby guests turned their heads, but no one spoke up. The unwritten rule of places like this was simple. If you had money, you could act however you wanted. Aaron didn't flinch. He had seen this routine before. Mock the service, make it a joke. Turn the person into a spectacle. Logan picked up his drink again, holding it up like a professor, dissecting a failed experiment. Come on, Aaron. Be honest, man. You really drink stuff like this? I do, Aaron answered smoothly, his tone giving away nothing really. Logan leaned in, grinning. Or is this like a script they make you memorize? 'Cause I mean, he let the words hang in the air, looking Aaron up and down. Aaron knew exactly what he was implying. He had been in this industry long enough to recognize the unspoken assumptions that a black man in a luxury setting must not belong, that he couldn't possibly have a refined palate, that this world wasn't supposed to be his. Madison leaned toward Logan, whispering something that made him laugh. Then she turned to Aaron with a fake pout. Don't be mad, Aaron, she said, dragging out his name like it was a joke in itself. We're just having fun. Drew nodded, grinning. Yeah, man. No need to get all serious. You should lighten up. Aaron tilted his head slightly, scanning their faces. They weren't just laughing at the drinks anymore. They were laughing at him, and they wanted him to react. He had seen it before. People like this got a thrill out of breaking someone's composure, out of testing how much they could get away with. So Aaron did something they weren't expecting. He smiled. You're right, he said smoothly. I should lighten up. Let's have some fun. For a moment, they looked surprised. But then Logan grinned. Now we're talking. But they had no idea the fun was about to be on Aaron's terms. Logan leaned back, flashing that smug grin, convinced he had Aaron right where he wanted him. The rest of the group relaxed, expecting this to turn into another round of light-hearted humiliation at Aaron's expense, but Aaron had something else in mind. He picked up Logan's drink, examining it under the glow of the setting sun. You know, Logan, he said, rolling the glass between his fingers, I think I might have made a mistake with your order. Logan raised an eyebrow. Yeah? Aaron nodded, his voice smooth, casual. Yes, see this drink? This right here, it's not for everyone. A flicker of confusion crossed Logan's face. Not for everyone. Aaron smiled. It's an acquired taste, the kind of thing you appreciate when you've developed a certain refinement. He set the drink back down in front of Logan. It's not about money. You can buy $1,000 bottle, but that doesn't mean you know what to do with it. Madison let out a small scarf, but Logan's smirk wavered just a little. Drew shifted in his seat. Aaron turned his attention to Madison. You ever had a wine pairing that actually made sense? One where the sommelier took time to explain why this specific vintage complements the dish? Madison blinked. Well, yeah, obviously. Aaron nodded. And did you appreciate it, or did you just pretend to? Madison opened her mouth, but no words came out. Aaron chuckled softly, shaking his head. It's funny, people love to flaunt wealth, throw out big names, Louis XIII, Yamazaki 18 Dom Perignon, but asked them what makes it special. Silence. He leaned in slightly, lowering his voice just enough that the weight of his words settled between them. Luxury isn't about what you can buy. It's about what you understand. Logan's jaw tightened. Aaron straightened, adjusting his cuffs, and smiled. So if you don't like the drink, that's fine. Maybe it's just not meant for you. The silence at the table stretched for a moment too long. Madison shifted in her seat. Drew looked away. Even Logan, who had spent the entire night treating Aaron like a joke, suddenly found himself on the other side of the table. But Aaron wasn't done. He picked up the untouched glass of water on the table and set it gently in front of Logan. Here, maybe start with this. A beat, then soft laughter from a nearby table. Someone had overheard. The realization flickered across Logan's face, a flush creeping up his neck. For the first time that evening, he was the punchline and he didn't like it. Logan clenched his jaw, his fingers tightening around the glass. The air around the table had shifted. The easy laughter, the smug expressions, all of it was gone. Madison tapped her nails against the table, her eyes darting between Aaron and Logan, as if waiting for someone to say something, to reset the power dynamic. Drew, who had been quieter than the others, exhaled sharply and let out a forced chuckle. -1 right, man. You got jokes, I respect that. Aaron smiled, but there was nothing forced about it. No jokes, just the truth. Logan leaned forward, lowering his voice. You think you're better than us or something? Aaron stayed perfectly still. I think you assumed I wasn't. Silence. A waiter passed by, setting down a new plate at a nearby table. The ocean waves continued their steady rhythm, completely indifferent to the tension at the table. Madison, looking for an out, exhaled dramatically. Ooh, whatever. Can we just get the check? Aaron nodded, of course. He stepped away, but instead of going straight to the bar, he took a slight detour as he walked past another guest, a well-dressed older man in his 60s. He stopped for a brief conversation. The man greeted Aaron like an old friend, giving him a firm handshake, before nodding toward the table. Aaron returned a few minutes later, placing the bill down between Logan and Drew. Logan picked it up with an exaggerated scoff. Sheesh, glad my card has no limit. But as he skimmed the receipt, his expression froze. Madison leaned over his shoulder. What is it? Logan's lips pressed into a tight line. He didn't answer, but his face was a mix of confusion and something else, something almost like regret. Drew grabbed the receipt from his hands and read it aloud. All drinks comped with appreciation from the owner. Madison frowned. Wait, what? Who's the owner? Aaron took a step back, allowing them a clear view of the older man at the VIP section, the one he had just spoken to. You just met him. Aaron's voice was calm, but the weight behind his words landed with perfect precision. That's my father. Logan's smirk evaporated. Madison's jaw slackened. Even Drew, who had tried to stay neutral, looked genuinely stunned. Aaron continued, his tone light, but his words deliberate. He started this place 25 years ago. He was a bartender before that, learned the craft, built something from nothing, and I've spent my whole life here. He gave Logan a polite nod. So yeah, I know a thing or two about taste. Madison swallowed. You mean you're? Aaron smiled. I run the club with him. I just like working the floor sometimes. Keeps me grounded. Logan shifted uncomfortably. He looked like he wanted to say something, but the words weren't coming. Aaron tilted his head slightly. Still think I don't belong here? Logan's lips parted, but nothing came out. And that silence, that was worth more than any tip he could leave. The tables had turned, and this time they had no witty comeback. For the first time all evening, Logan looked uncomfortable. Not angry, not smug, just thrown off balance. His bravado had been chipped away, and now he was staring at Aaron, not as a joke, not as a target, but as a person he had completely misjudged. Drew, shifting in his seat, was the first to break the silence. He let out a half laugh, half exhale, shaking his head. Damn, that's crazy. Madison, still reeling, looked between Aaron and the VIP section, where his father sat. Wait, so you're like rich? Aaron gave a small shrug. My family did well, but money doesn't mean much if you don't respect the people who make places like this run. Madison quickly straightened up, smoothing her hair as if suddenly realizing she had been speaking to someone with real influence. Oh, well, I mean, we were just joking. You know, she flashed a nervous smile. Nothing personal. Aaron's expression remained neutral. Personal or not, it says a lot about a person when they think respect is optional. Madison immediately looked away, focusing on her nails. Logan, still gripping the receipt, let out a dry chuckle. Damn man, you really set us up for that one. Aaron shook his head. I didn't set you up. You walked into it yourself. Logan's smirk faltered. He knew it was true. Drew finally sighed, rubbing his temples. All right, well, that was humbling. Aaron slid the check presenter back toward them. We comped the drinks, but the tip's on you. They finally shut up. Aaron smirked. They learned to listen. The bartender chuckled, shaking his head. I'll drink to that. Meanwhile, at their table, Logan sat in silence, staring at the ocean. The group, once full of laughter, was now subdued because for the first time, they weren't the ones telling the story. They were the ones who got taught the lesson. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in deep oranges and purples, Aaron stepped away from the floor, watching the last of the light dance on the waves. The evening rush was settling, and the tourists, the ones who had come in loud, arrogant, untouchable, were now subdued. Their energy completely shifted. They weren't angry, they weren't laughing. They were just quiet. Logan, Drew, and Madison stood up, gathering their things. Logan stole a final glance toward the VIP section, where Aaron's father sat enjoying a quiet drink. The man who built the very club he had walked into, assuming he was above it all. But now, Logan looked like someone who had been handed a mirror instead of a menu. As they walked past the bar, Drew gave Aaron a small nod. Not forced, not mocking, but a genuine acknowledgement. Aaron returned it. Madison, still trying to save face, flashed a small, awkward smile before hurrying to catch up. Logan didn't say a word, but the look in his eyes said enough. Aaron took a slow breath. He had seen so many people like them before. The ones who walked into places like this, thinking their money made them untouchable, that their status made them superior. But money doesn't buy character. Money doesn't teach respect. And tonight they had learned that the hard way. As he turned back toward the ocean, the bartender leaned over the counter with a smirk. Think they'll ever act like that again? Aaron chuckled. Maybe not here. The bartender shook his head. I'd call that a win. Aaron took one last glance at the empty table, then turned back to work, his expression calm, because at the end of the day, he didn't need their validation. They walked in thinking money made them untouchable. They walked out knowing respect isn't bought, it's earned. If you believe character matters more than wealth, hit like and subscribe for more powerful stories.